I'll do whatever you want for $40. Fuck Funimation. Everybody, welcome back to Party Chat. I'm Obey the Fist.
And I'm Patrox. Hey, Fist.
What's that?
What do me and Goku have in common?
What do you and Goku have in common?
A handful of kids that we sometimes forget exist and somebody else has to raise for us.
Boom! Yeah, so today, dads. Goku. Really bad one. Really bad one. Dads in animation. Goku is one of the worst. If you were curious, the big question's been answered.
Fun fact, little behind-the-scenes Party Chat tidbit. This was actually supposed to be an episode dedicated to anime dads. But then Fist and I went off on a rant about how Western animation has some of the best and worst dads ever.
In terms of Western animation, we tend to get more good dads than bad ones.
I beg to differ.
Okay. That seems like a fine starting point. Let's go and start with the worst ones, because I'd like to end on the better note.
Peter Griffin.
Peter Griffin is barely even he is a terrible dad, but like he's barely even a human anymore. Like Peter Griffin is like a random low effort joke typhoon that just comes onto screen, does weird shit like break Cleveland's house open with shenanigans, and then
every father figure in every show Seth MacFarlane does is pretty
bad.
Fucking terrible. Because Cleveland's a bad dad. Peter's a bad dad. Stan Smith is a bad dad.
Stan Smith is a bad person.
Up note, good dad, Hank Hill.
Hank Hill is a fantastic father.
He tries.
He does. At the very least, you can tell with Hank Hill, everything is coming from the heart. Even when he does have selfish moments, because we're all humans, we do. He realizes it, and I
look. The man just wants to sell propane and propane accessories, and raise a kid in a show that took place in a time where toxic masculinity still ran rampant.
Yeah, that I think was the best thing about Hank Hill, was because Bobby is very much not the child that the stereotypical Texas father wants, and Hank loved the hell out of him anyway. So good and wholesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be great to see where that show goes on its like reboot reunion special that it's getting. That's gonna be real fun.
I did not even know that it was getting that.
Mike Judge is in negotiations with Fox for a King of the Hill reboot sequel.
Okay.
Etc. Which will take place, I think, congruent to how much time has passed since the end of the show. I think that was how I read it. So Bobby will likely be like in his 30s.
Dude, that's okay. I'd watch that.
He probably has kids of his own,
and I bet he's gonna be an amazing dad.
Other good dads. Let's turn it.
Starting with the bad ones.
Oh, we're still going bad dads.
Because we've got Seth MacFarlane with bad Western.
All right. Martin Mertens, terrible father. That's Finn's dad. Adventure Time.
Oh, I haven't even gotten to the Finn's dad stuff. I just know what I've heard, which is basically Finn's dad was like, "Hi, I'm your dad. Bye."
So one of the things about Finn's dad is like the whole show, after you meet Finn's dad, he's in like a cosmic prison. Adventure Time has been over for like 3 years now. Spoilers.
So like if you happen to have just gotten into Adventure Time, jump ahead.
Yeah. So he meets him in they find out he's in a cosmic prison, and he's like, oh, maybe he's like the warden of this prison. And then it turns out he's just a prisoner. You don't know why. And so Finn's like, why did you abandon me as a baby? And he's like, man, it's a long story. There was a giant and a tiger and like a raft and like, I don't know, dude. It's been like 30 years. He's like, Dad, I'm 16. He's like, I don't have a son to revolve around. I have no concept of time. And yeah, he sees his dad, meets his dad, saves his dad. And then his dad's like, oh, I'm on the first ship out of here. Fuck you, buddy. Comes back. You basically just see him being up to shenanigans and no goodery. And it stays that way pretty much until you get to the island special where Finn goes and he meets the other humans. He finds his mom, who's also a little crazy, but from the best place. Crazy and with the best intentions.
It's wild that Adventure Time started the way it did and then had a continuity the whole time.
Yeah. But you end up finding out that when Finn was a baby, Martin got attacked by somebody that he had hustled. Like, he was actually like a really good father. And was a swindler, a con artist before Finn was born, and stopped that life, changed his ways. And someone that he had previously conned showed up on a tiger, chased them down to the docks where he got on a raft, where he was then attacked by the fucking island guardian. And in order to save Finn, he jumped on the island guardian and like blew it up, and Finn's raft sailed away without him. He actually was a good dad, kind of. But one good act does not make up for,
one of those things where, if one good act is enough to redeem a terrible man, one bad act is enough to... Here nor there. So, small handful of terrible fathers in Western animation, but if you take the jump across the pond, there is no shortage of terrible fathers in anime.
Yeah, it's almost like the artists and creators in Japan have experience with their fathers being disappointed in them or something.
It certainly comes through in the writing. There's a lot of dads who unfairly place expectations upon their children. Like when a certain terrible father was fighting a biological super weapon, beat the hell out of it, and then was like, all right, son, your turn, and then healed the biological super weapon to full. Because it's a fair fight now. Get in there, 13-year-old.
Maybe I should let him go so he can give me a better fight later. Maybe I should let him power up to 100% and teach him hubris. Or maybe I should give him a sensu bean and let you fight him. I think it's a common trope at this point in anime to have bad dad. The greatest anime of all time, Fullmetal Alchemist, Brotherhood. Chock full of bad fathers.
Actually, yeah, a bunch of them just jump straight out of those pages or that screen.
Yeah, Hohenheim sucks. Father sucks. Shao Tucker.
Put him in the boiler room of hell. That's straight to the bottom.
But they make for such good narrative.
I mean, yeah, it's a fantastic villain because, it's your dad. You're supposed to love your dad. Your dad's supposed to love you. And instead of that, you have to go on a harrowing, life-changing 42-episode adventure where you probably lose a lot of friends. And then eventually punch your dad in the face. Gohan should absolutely get to beat the shit out of Goku before the end of Super. I'm saying that right now. I don't even like Gohan. Gohan sucks. But he deserves to stomp Goku into the ground. He's earned that right.
I'm nowhere near that strong. Yet. I think another common theme in anime, too, is there's a whole lot of roles of, like, I'm not your father, but I will play your father. Piccolo.
I didn't.
Grandpa Gohan.
I didn't create you, but I will absolutely be your dad. And I think Piccolo is probably the pinnacle of that particular niche.
Low key, Roy Mustang.
Roy Mustang. I feel like he had more older bro than that was Big Brother rather than Dad. That he was more Kamina to
Kamina's good brothers. Dad too.
He's just bro.
No, Kamina is that cool dad that is more of your friend than he is your father.
You mean Weekend Dad?
Yeah.
I don't think you're making the argument you think you're making because you think Weekend Dad is cool because he lets you eat Cheetos for breakfast, and the reason he lets you eat Cheetos for breakfast is because he's irresponsible.
Wow, if you have something to say about my parenting, you can fucking just say it. No, it's that's always a good trope too, is the like step-up dad.
Yeah, and in fact, again, with Chris Sabat, because that's what All Might did.
Yeah, All Might's also good, Dad.
He just, by virtue of existing in his space, he was like, Midoriya, he was like, I'm its mother now.
Hey, kid, eat this hair. It'll give you superpowers.
Give you superpowers.
But don't tell no one. Yeah, no, All Might, definitely a good dad. All for One, really bad dad.
Really bad dad. Really terrible.
Really bad step-up dad.
Really bad. That's a bad step-up dad. That's I've decided
to raise this child and turn him into a manipulative, evil piece of shit.
For that matter, Orochimaru did the same thing to Sasuke.
Sasuke Aizen did that to the entire fucking Bleach cast.
The entire Bleach cast.
Holy
what
shit.
a moment. What a moment when Sasuke took, what a moment when Aizen took off the glasses and pushed his hair back and he was like, I'm daddy now. And everybody was like, shit, I don't know what you want me to do about that. Like,
yeah, no, you're right. Another good example of like good versus bad dad in poopy anime. Naruto, pretty good dad. Taught his boy the Rasengan.
wait, like, you mean Boruto's dad?
Yeah. They made a whole show about Boruto's dad, dude. Did you know that?
He's got a whole origin story?
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
It's
wild.
like 700 episodes. Yeah, no, Naruto's a pretty good dad. I mean, he's definitely not the best dad, but like that scene where like Boruto learns the Rasengan, it was pretty cool. And I don't even like Naruto all like that. Sasuke though, pretty shit father. As expected.
Didn't he basically just knock Sakura up and then leave?
Kinda. Yes, no. Orga is good dad. I understand that he, again, big bro vibes.
Big bro, but like,
he is the father of all of those children of Tekkadan.
Yeah.
It's Orga Itsuka, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Orga Itsuka.
Itsuka, yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole mess of, I think the age gap there is what really sells it, because you've got kids in Tekkadan that are
Like 10.
like 5.
Yeah. No.
You've got the ones that are so small they can't even do much other than like move boxes or cook.
There are a lot of good dads in anime too, like genuinely characters that have children. Not children they found, children they conceived and or partially gave birth to, whatever. That will actually treat their children right. Which is real weird because like it just seems so uncommon.
Especially because one of them is Vegeta.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Dude, when he was just like, all right, Trunks, if you can hit me, we're going to the park. And then Trunks hits him and cleans his fucking
he just
clock.
knocks his boy clear across the room in a gravity-enhanced chamber.
And then he's like, yo, bitch, get your shoes. We're going to the fucking park.
And he was like, you didn't say you were going to hit me. He was like, yeah, and I didn't tell you I wasn't going to hit you either.
He
Now
also
get your
wasn't
coat.
going to participate in the Tournament of Power because Bulma was about to have a baby. And he was like, sorry, Kakarot, I'm not you. I'm not just going to abandon my children to fight people. Awful character. Great dad.
Bob Belcher is a dad with a very dear spot in my heart, especially because first season, they didn't really seem like they knew exactly how wholesome the family dynamic was going to become as the show progressed.
Yeah.
Because, like, you can make the argument that he's a terrible dad because he does not discipline his kids at all. Like, Luis cuts his credit card into a ninja star, and his reaction is like, ugh, I have to deal with this now. So, like, and obviously if you don't correct the behavior, but by the time, you know, seasons 3 and 4 roll around, it's just a guy who's doing his best, and he loves the hell out of his kids.
Yeah. But I will see your Bob Belcher and raise you Greg Universe.
And that's dickish of you because you know I can't beat that. Greg Universe is like the patron saint of dadhood, I think.
You know, here he is thrown into the middle of this like alien conflict. His wife is a fucking rock. By the way, Shout out to the subreddit Greg fucked a rock. Real subreddit, just in case. Also, Greg choosing a rock for those that are a little further into the Steven Universe saga. But that man does all he can.
And he
His
does.
son is a half mutant alien rock, and he's just like, whatever you need, Stewball.
With functionally godlike power, and just always there with the life lessons. Doesn't have powers to engage with the threats that his son has to face, but still does his best.
There are Greg Universe life lessons that I genuinely use in my everyday life. Do you know how many times I've said the phrase, if every pork chop were perfect, we wouldn't have hot dogs? It's unreal. I use it all the time.
The important thing is nobody got hurt.
That episode was wild. But no, Greg, just absolute mad lad. You know who else was a pretty cool dad? It's not animation related. Obi-Wan Kenobi. And I only bring that up because the lightsaber's green, which means we are out of time. Make sure to leave a comment and tell us about your favorite or least favorite cartoon or anime dad. And until next time, I'm Patrox.
Obey the fist.
We'll catch you later. Do, 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 do.